fellow diamond painting addicts, and welcome back to Diamond Painting Anonymous. I'm Daphne, and I am here for day number 20 of this year's Advent project. So I'm just going to peel off my release paper for section 20, and I am going to jump in. So let me zoom you guys in so you can see what I am doing. Let me make sure that you can see the entire section. Okay, so let me start my timer. I think I remembered everything today. I have my timer. I have my cup of hot tea. And I think I have everything ready to go that I need here. So I'm just going to jump in. I can't believe this is day 20 already. It seems like the first, 10 or so days kind of seem to go slow. And then these last 10 days have just seemed to zoom by. I don't know if that's because we're getting closer to the holidays, and so I have other things going on as well. And so, I don't know, it just feels like the end of the year is approaching at a screaming pace, you know? So, let's see what's going on in my life. My husband is home. He ended up coming home a day early because he injured himself. He was supposed to be climbing up the truck to climb in the bucket and fell. So he was looking at some video of all the storms we had. And there was a video of, the truck that he works in. And so he was explaining to me, basically, those big utility trucks with the bucket on the top. You have to climb on top of the truck to get in the bucket. And he fell off the top of the truck, which was like 6 feet. And he landed on his feet, and he's messed up his ankle pretty good. His knee is sore, but his ankle is swollen. So we're going to give it another day. And if it doesn't get a whole bunch better, then I'm going to make him go to the doctor to see. They probably need to do an x-ray and see if he damaged anything. Man, I missed a whole bunch of ends right there. Whew, right out of the gate, I'm already messing up. So thank you to everyone that was concerned. He's fine, other than he may have done something to his knee/ankle. His ankle is pretty swollen this morning, and he's got a nice bruise coming up. So at the very least, I'm pretty sure he gave it a nice sprain if he didn't do any worse. I just don't want him to have like a hairline fracture or something, and he keeps trying to work on it and makes it even worse. So we'll see what happens. I am supposed to be going to the dentist tomorrow, maybe. I can't remember. In a couple of days anyway. And I was going to go, but I am still sick and coughing, and I don't think my hygienist would appreciate me coughing and hacking in her face. So I'm going to call and postpone my appointment until after the new year, I think, which I hate to do because, it's a 6-month appointment. So I made it 6 months ago, but when they get busy and then trying to fit you in just becomes kind of a nightmare. But I'm sure they'd rather mess with that than have me possibly make them all sick. So, and you guys, I went to my paint and sip, and it was fun. I had a good time. It was a little overwhelming. It's really, other than just like going to the grocery store or something, was my first kind of outing since COVID happened. And, for the most part, we were in a private room, so it was just the people from work. Everything just seemed really loud. Other than that, it was fine. The guy that was our instructor was hilarious. And course, we're all preschool teachers, and we had some ladies who are on the board at the preschool also came, and most of them were drinking. Several of them had been pre-gaming before they got there. So there's a couple of us that don't drink, so we were kind of laughing at the other ones. Nobody got falling down drunk or anything, but there were a couple who were pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? Let's just say feeling no pain by the time we left. And so we were getting ready to go, and my sister had gone to the restroom, and so I was waiting in the room that we were in with all of her stuff because I didn't want to leave her purse and everything just sitting there. And everyone else had gone out to our transportation. One of the teachers that I work with, she and her husband own like a little, one of those little buses, the short buses. And they use it to do various things in their family. They have a big family, and so they haul people around. Like, they had it all decorated up for Christmas because they were going to be taking their kids out to see Christmas lights the next night. And, the bus has big windows, so you can see all the way around and everything, and nice comfy chairs. And so it was nice. She picked all of us up, and her husband drove us downtown, so none of us had to worry about parking or anything. We all just met at the preschool, and then he drove us from there. So I'm waiting for her to get out of the restroom so that we can go get on the bus. She gathers up all of her stuff. We're the last ones out there, and she's walking behind me, and I step up on the curb and then turn right to to get in the bus because it's a couple of steps up into the bus. And I hear this big crash behind me, and I turn around and look. I don't know what my sister did. Now, let me just preface this by saying my sister is and has always been clumsy. She falls down probably more than any and all of the rest of us combined. She's just always been klutzy. And I look behind me, and her stuff is just kind of strewn in a line out from her, and she missed the curb. I don't know if she didn't see it, if she just didn't get her foot high enough. And I'm standing there, my hands are full, so I'm trying to set stuff down so that I can help her up. And, it happens so often that I'm just like, okay, are you okay? I didn't see any blood. She didn't appear to have anything twisted at a weird angle. So I'm trying to set my stuff down, and I said, are you okay? And she's like, yeah, nothing busted but my pride. And as we're doing this, everyone on the bus is jumping out and freaking out. Oh my God, are you okay? And she's like, yeah, I'm fine. And I'm like, y'all, she falls down a lot. You gonna wear yourselves out acting like that every time she falls. So then we get in the bus, and she's like, I think I hurt my elbow, because I guess she kind of landed on one of her elbows. So I sent her a text this morning to make sure she was okay. But yeah, so it was an entertaining evening, to say the least. The guy that was our instructor was hilarious. And so, and I did take a picture of the painting that I did, so I will stick the painting in here somewhere so that you guys can see it. It was a snowman with a little bird on his nose, kind of a wintry scene. And we had a lot of fun, so I'm glad I went, even though I wasn't thrilled about it at the time. I wish I had been feeling better overall so that I could have enjoyed it. I think I would have enjoyed it a little bit more. But I definitely appreciated being in the private room so that we weren't out in the main room with everybody else. Gosh, every time I put my pen down, I see another F. Make sure I got all of them this time. Okay, I don't see any more, although I do see some K's that I missed. So let me go in and fill in the E's. It seems to be a lot of E's in this section. So I had a good time, and I'm glad that I went. And we did our little ornament exchange. I got a cute little, it's 3 blocks painted in that kind of shabby chic way, and then affixed to make a snowman, like a little like wooden block snowman. It was cute. And then we get back to the preschool where I've left my car so we can all go home, and my sister's like, wait, I have gifts for you from the kids. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, I have gifts from the preschool kids, because our parents are awesome, and our kids at holidays and parties and stuff, the parents always have the kids bring in a little something for all of the teachers. Now, I took a bunch of things home on Monday, which was my last day of work because I teach on Monday and Wednesday. And she's like, well, I have a bunch of stuff. And I was like, well, what do you mean you have a bunch of stuff? Oh, we didn't, my kids didn't come in again after this. And she's like, oh, no. I teach in the 3s class. We also have a 4s class. And a bunch of the kids from that class had brought in something for all of the teachers, even if they were not teachers in that classroom. So I had a bunch of stuff from kids that, that I see in the preschool but aren't in my classroom. So she had a whole nother bag of stuff for me to take home. So I got home and I had all kinds of things. I had body lotion and a pair of mittens and chocolate and a bottle of wine and some Christmas sugar cookies and a gift card from somebody to it's a wood-fired pizza place, which I have never been to. So my husband is already salivating over that one. So it will probably get used sometime over this break. And so, yeah, it was really nice. Our parents are so supportive, and we get, gift cards like that all the time to like the local coffee places and stuff like that. So I had fun. Even though, like I said, I wish I'd felt better. I was actually looking this morning online to see, because they offer virtual classes. And I didn't realize they actually have 2 different options for virtual classes. They're all pre-recorded, and basically you pay your fee and you get access to their little tutorial for a week. But they have 2 different options. You can provide all your own materials, and it's only $20. So you just, whenever the class opens up, you get 7 days to kind of, do it at your own pace, wherever, at home. And then they also have an option, which is, I think, $35, between 35 and 40. I can't remember exactly, somewhere in there. They have an option where it's still the online recording, but instead of you providing the materials, they will provide the materials. That's why cost is different. But like one of them that I was looking at, it was, I think the 22nd was the day of the class. You had to go get your materials the day of the class. They put everything together for you. You pay for the canvas and the paint, and I think they said they give you like a paint cup for, for water, the paint brushes that you'll need, the paint that you'll need, the canvas. I can't remember if it said if they provided an apron or not, and paper plates and paper towels. So most of the stuff that you would need. And then you can just come in and pick it up. but you have to come in and pick it up the day that the class goes live. So like the class went live at, say, the 22nd at 7 p.m. You had to come in and pick up the supplies between 3 and 6 on the 22nd to get the supplies. So now it said that you could make alternative arrangements. So I don't know if you called, like if I could call and say, hey, you know, I live out of town. Can I come get them at a different time or whatever? I mean, they don't want you to come and get it too early, I'm sure, because I don't know how they package them or whatever. Like in the studio, we came in and they had all the easels set up for everybody. And then there was just a paper plate underneath the easel with all of the paint that we were going to use kind of put on the plate like a palette. And then they had another plate on top of it, you know, to keep it from drying out too much. So I'm assuming they put it in some sort of container for you, but anyway, I don't know how it all works, but it sounded fun. So I may at some point explore doing that. So my sister was telling me last night that she's already signed up for one virtually. She's done one before, and they went and did this same, you know, paint and sip experience last year. So they had all kind of done it before, but anyway, it was fun. It was something I hadn't done before, so that was nice. And we all had a good time, other than my sister falling. It was good. So, and my husband is home, so that's nice. So I don't have to worry about him being out in the cold working, because it has turned so bitter cold. I went to go leave for the paint and sip, and I was just going to take a coat, you know, a light jacket. I mean, not like summer light, but not my heavy winter coat. Because last time I had been outside, it was like 70 degrees. I walked out just into our garage and went, oh, I think I should probably go back in for a heavier coat. And when I went back inside, I stopped and checked the weather, and it was going to be in like the 20s that night. So I was like, yeah, definitely taking my big coat. I get cold very easy, so I was dressed in layers anyway, because I was afraid that I would be cold inside the paint and sip studio. So, but yeah, it's super cold. And it's going to be cold for the next several days, so I'm glad my husband's not out working in it anymore. But then Friday is supposed to be back up in the 60s, so I don't think we're going to have a white Christmas this year. So I'm sure there's going to be some disappointed kids. But so that's kind of what's going on personally. So now I think, depending on what happens with my husband's foot, I think we're all pretty much on vacation until after the first of the year. So it'll be nice to just kind of spend some time together. And my husband is home, so we can finish or at least play a couple more episodes of our Hunt a Killer game. So hopefully we're going to do that at least one episode later today, because I've been looking forward to him getting home so we could do that. And we've done all of our Christmas shopping and everything, and I've already actually bought, he's getting a Christmas/birthday present. So I have already bought that, although I need to wrap that. I forgot about it. He's not going to get it until his birthday. So, although I'm debating, he's asked if he could have them early. I bought him the new Apple AirPods. He's been wanting them. But I'm like, I've already spent your allotment, you know, on the other stuff that you wanted for Christmas. So if you want these, It has to be a birthday / Christmas present. And he was like, okay. And I told him, I said, you're not going to get him till your birthday. Okay, I'm fine with that. Because I wanted to go ahead and buy them because they were on sale for like $100 off. So I went ahead and bought them. But now I'm curious for him to open them because I was looking at getting some. He has the old version. And so he's like, well, I'll get the new ones and you can have my old ones. Well, my ears are small. And so he gave me his old ones just to try them out and see. I can't wear them. They fall out of my ears. So I was like, well, this was before Christmas. He was trying to talk me into letting him buy them. And so he was like, haha, perfect solution. I'll give you my old ones and then you'll let me buy the new ones. Except they don't fit my ears. I mean, literally, I'm sitting there diamond painting, trying to listen to some of my podcasts and stuff, and I would move my head and they would fall out of my ears. So I was like, yeah, this is just annoying. So this isn't going to work. So he didn't think I was going to get them for him because I couldn't use the other ones. But I did. So, but I think I may let him open them a little bit early because they're made a little bit differently. And I want to try the new ones and see if the new ones will fit my ears a little bit better. Because if they will, then I can buy myself the new ones as well. So, trying to stay on track with our budget. I told you guys I bought those paintings from Craftably. I won't get them until March of next year, which I told myself I wasn't going to do pre-orders like that anymore, but I know I like Craftably, and I love their canvas quality. I love their drills. Was super happy with the one that I bought, and the one that I did previously was one of the older kits, the ones that come in the white tube. So now I'm curious to see when I get them if I'll get 3 different colors of tubes since they're random, if they all come in the same color. So, but it's okay with me, even though I said I wasn't going to buy any more pre-orders. I'm happy enough with Craftably that I went ahead and did that. So, anyway, the point of all that was that we got a bonus last night from work, and my bonus was enough to cover the paintings that I bought. So I told my husband that means I get to claim that my budget is at 0 and he's like, no, that's not how it works. You actually spent the money, and just because you got, an unexpected bonus to cover it. He's always raining on my parade. So let's see, I just need one of these. Put that in there. And do some Y's. So I'm hoping to get some more diamond painting in. I've diamond painted quite a bit this weekend, but I'm still not done with my Paint with Diamond project. And I want to get that one finished because I still have 2 other projects that I want to get finished before the end of the year. And I might actually have time to get more than just those 3 done. I'm going to get this one done, and then the Paint with Diamond ones, and then the other 2. I mean, I have more paintings than that, of course, but I just would like to get at least those done so I can add them to my 2021 finishes. And then I can start my 2022. So, all right, I'm going to do all of the hashtag symbols, get those out of the way. And then I think I'll do the M's since there seems to be the most of the M's. And then I'll go back and fill in with all the other colors that are just kind of here and there. So maybe this way it'll keep me from missing too many of them as I'm going. Probably not, but I can, I can tell myself that. So that's kind of what's going on in my personal life. What are you guys doing? Is anybody traveling for the holiday? Like I said, we're traveling to my sister's, but she lives close enough for us to drive. So she lives in the same city where I work, so it's not a horrible drive. And my brother lives in the big city where we all grew up, so it's not too far of a drive for him. My sister and I have moved to the burbs, although her burb is bigger than mine. I guess she lives in the burbs and I live in the country, is probably how most people would see it. So, I mean, I drive past 1, 2, 3, 4 cow pastures and, I don't know, 15 farms on my way to work. So, yeah, people would probably say I live in the country, although I technically live in a city. And I mean, we do have some things. We do have a convenience store. It has the gas pumps, and we have the co-op has gas pumps, which is usually where I go because I don't like the convenience store. We have a couple of restaurants, a couple of barber shops / hair salons. There's a small mom and pop grocery store. There's a small hardware store. And trying to think, we just had a new business open up. We had, it's like a nutrition bar, like where you go and get smoothies and stuff. I haven't been in there yet, but they seem to be doing good business. They're busy whenever I go by, so. So, I mean, it is a small town and I do live out in the country, but we're not completely out in the boonies. I don't live out, in the middle of nowhere where my next neighbor is miles away. And we live on the main street of the town, so, although we live at one end of town, so it's kind of quiet on our end of town, thank goodness. So, okay, I think I'm going to do the M's now. I had 3 containers of M when I started. I'm down to just 1, so. Anyway, so we don't have to travel very far. Well, that's interesting. They're together. We don't have to travel very far to go to my sister's house, so that will be nice. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. Hopefully, we will all be healthy and nobody will be sick when we get together. So, I tried to keep my distance from people yesterday because I didn't want to give anyone my germs. So, but I had fun. But now I can concentrate on just stuff at home. I have almost 2 weeks at home. I kind of don't know what to do with myself. I know I want to finish playing that Hunt a Killer game. We have 4 episodes left. So we'll do that. Going to see my sister and everybody for Christmas. We always do ours in our family. We, and this is something my parents started when we were little. We would do, aunts and uncles and grandparents and everybody would come to our house on Christmas Eve. So we got to open all of those presents on Christmas Eve. And then everybody would be with their own families on Christmas Day. So Christmas Day was just my mom and dad and my brother and sister. When I was little, my grandparents actually lived across the street. Um, my grandfather, my mom's dad, had Lou Gehrig's disease, ALS, and so he was bedridden the entire time of my childhood until he passed away. And so for most of my childhood until he passed away, he and my grandmother lived across the street from us. So, I say we didn't see everybody, but we would go. We spent every weekend with my grandmother growing up. So, both before and after my grandfather passed. So, I think it was a chance for Grandma, after Grandpa died, to not be so lonely. And before that, I think it started as a way for my mom and dad to have some alone time without children. My mom, while my grandpa was alive, stayed home and took care of my grandpa during the day while my grandmother worked. And, once she and dad got married and she had kids, she took care of grandpa and us. And so they moved in across the street to make it easier, because at the time my parents only had one car and my dad needed it for his job because he worked in town. In the city where we lived, but he worked downtown. So he had the car. And so mom could just walk across the street. So when we were kids, we would just walk across the street. That's where I went. I got in trouble. I was trying to be independent and get a glass. I think I was trying to get a glass of water or something. And so I opened the lower cabinets and I was stepping on the shelves. Well, when I put my foot on the front of the shelf, the back of the shelf came up and everything that was on the shelf slid out into the floor and broke. And a bunch of it was my mom's Corningware that she had gotten for her and my dad's wedding. So, those old blue and white casserole dishes with lids and everything all came tumbling out into the floor, and some of them broke. My mom was so mad she couldn't even speak. She didn't yell, she didn't scream. She just came in, saw what had happened, and just looked at me and said, "Get out of the house." And I went crying to my room, grabbed my bag, my little portable Barbie case, and I packed my Barbies in it. Didn't pack any clothes for myself or anything. And hauled my rear across the street and went to my grandmother's house. I come in the house crying, incoherent, and my grandma was like, "What is wrong? What happened?" So she finally gets out of me what happened. And she's like, "Oh, it's fine. I think she sent me to the kitchen and she gave me something to eat and I sat down and started watching cartoons or whatever." And I'm assuming she probably called my mom to find out what actually was going on. And she came back in and she's like, "Your mom just needs some time to cool off. It's okay. You can stay here." And, blah, blah, blah. So I stayed there with her and grandpa, I think, until my dad got home that night. And I thought I was going to be in so much trouble with my dad. And I didn't want to go back home anyway, because I was like, Mom doesn't want me at home anymore. And my grandma's like, "Oh, it'll be fine. Just go home." Then I was like, "No, Dad's going to be super mad at me. I'm going to get in trouble." And she's like, "No, it'll be fine." So I go home and I'm just dreading it, knowing I'm going to be in so much trouble. And Dad never even said anything to me. He just said, "Hey," when I came in the door, and I went to my room, and I think Grandma had fed me, so I didn't have to worry about, being around everybody for dinner or whatever. I think I went home and got ready for bed and went to bed. And the next morning, we just didn't talk about it. Nobody said anything, but I wasn't in trouble. I didn't get grounded. And I did, I think, get admonished to, next time if I wanted to get a glass, to get a drink or whatever, that I needed to ask someone to help me instead of climbing on the cabinets and everything. And I didn't break everything because I still have some of my mother's blue and white Corningware dishes, so I can't have broken everything. But yeah, the time I packed my Barbies and went across the street to my grandma's house is kind of a family story that gets told all the time. So it's a good thing she lived across the street. I don't know what I would have done if she didn't live across the street at the time, because their other house was way on the other side of town. I probably would have gotten run over or something else happened by the time I got to her house at that point. Okay. I think that's all of these. That one did not get pressed down. Isn't that funny how you run your finger over and you feel things that your eyes miss when it comes to diamond painting? Okay, so that is the end of that section. Let me zoom everything out here so you guys can see. Okay, let me see. Can you see? I don't think that's everything. Let me zoom it out a little bit more. Okay, I think that lets you see everything. Okay, so there is section 20. Tomorrow we will be moving all the way down here to the bottom to section 21, so we'll finish this corner and yeah, move on. So finish some of the branches and leaves here. Again, I'm just loving how this is coming out. It's so colorful and pretty. So thank you guys for joining me and listening to my ramblings and my childhood stories. I hope you found them entertaining. If you did, before you leave, don't forget to do all the things. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed of future uploads. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching.